Hey, Steve Zook, welcome back to Polkzoo channel. Hey, I promised I'd show this product. I've been using this for quite a while now, and he was nice enough to send me a free bottle, and I told him I'd do a little promo for him. But my fingers were in really bad shape. I'm 63. I used to practice 12, 14 hours a day, and even if you don't practice that much, when you get older, you lose certain, I forget what it's called, lipus or something. Anyway, you lose certain layers or chemicals in your skin. They just don't repair like they used to when you were younger. And my fingers on my left hand were really bad. I had cuts on every finger. I thought I was going to have to quit playing guitar. I'm not even kidding. My fingers were bad. It was really bumming me out. And I started researching, and I bought this product and started using it, and my left hand cleared up. And as you can see now, there's no cuts or anything. This stuff is really amazing. I think it's the best I've ever seen, and I would not even be able to play guitar and enjoy guitar right now if it wasn't for Guitar Hands. You can order it at guitarhands.com. If you happen to order it, maybe just mention in the comment you heard about it on Polkzoo channel on YouTube. I'd appreciate that. But it's a really great product. So I had tons of cuts on my left hand. They'd never in my whole life been like that. And part of it's probably from playing a lot of acoustic and altered tunings. But like I said, I never had that when I was younger. And some people just have more oil in their skin. My wife doesn't seem to have any issues. She's around 60, but if you do have issues, this stuff really works. All right, cool. Did my thing. I always like to share a little bit of free information, so let me pull this up a little bit. This guitar is for sale, by the way. It's $479 with a case. It rarely sounds good. So let me just share a little bit of free info here. I get a lot of emails from people asking, how I'm thinking about things when I'm playing, and the result. The idea is that I'm not thinking. Now you can argue, I don't like to compare guitar players, but you got to put Joe Pass up there with the top 2 or 3 ever, right? Top 2 or 3, 4 guitar players ever. And in my mind, the best chord melody style player ever was Joe Pass. Just beautiful. And I was lucky enough to study with him live. But he used to say real simple things like simplify your thinking, stop thinking, and so a lot of people send me questions. Well, when you do that, are you thinking diatonic, whatever? There's 10 systems at least of improvisation, and you need to do your homework and learn those in an organic, simple to use way, like my guitar ladder system, where you're not thinking, but you're experiencing those 10 different systems of improvisation. And then that activates the science of what's called neuroplasticity, and then that will begin to form new neural pathways, and you'll begin to hear where chords want to go. But it doesn't work to approach this on a left brain way. Now sure, if you want to work 1, 6, 2, 5s, and you're thinking, okay, G is 1, E minor 7 is 6, 2, 5, and then and then do maybe a flat 5 sub or whatever. I mean, it's okay to do a little bit of that, but what I'm trying to say is if you get too stuck in an analytical left brain approach to learning improvisation, it's not going to take you very far at all. If you really want to be the best composer, best guitar player you can be, you need to develop your improvisational skills. And if there was better material out there, I would recommend it. But there's nothing even close to the guitar ladder system. You can order it at stevezookguitars.com. And I've had a lot of really smart people buy my guitar ladder course, people with master's degrees, people that do coaching one-on-one, therapist type people. I'm not kidding. All kinds of people that are highly educated, really smart, have tried lots of other guitar methods and just were extremely frustrated because those methods weren't thought out really well. So just our little brief, like chromatic, and like when you're practicing, it's okay to put things in a little bit of a category, like chromatic, right? Just half steps, right? 1, 6, 2, 5, But what I'm trying to say is my guitar ladder system gives you those musical sentences, like study 1, where you're actually and they've proven through the science of neuroplasticity that when you work on something in a joyful way without pressure and keeping it light and positive, it's almost, well, they actually say it's like having a switch that's on. It soaks up into your subconscious mind. It's almost like it hits a save button, and your brain begins to create new neural pathways, which means you're learning guitar when you're not even playing. But you got to have the right material. You got to have a positive attitude about it. You have to trust. And this isn't just like a philosophical thing. It relates to in neuroscience and the way your brain, the way your nervous system works. So, like if you work, my guitar ladder system, and you don't overanalyze it, because that will just ruin it for you. And I get really tired of fighting people on that. Most people are pretty cooperative every once in a while, but I understand you guys that had to fight me a little bit, but that don't keep it's got to be less and less and less. And I'm not fighting people on a regular basis. I'm just saying I understand, because we've all been brainwashed to think that learning has to be this 4 times 4 equals this type thing. But the way that your nervous system works, the way that your subconscious mind, the way that you create neural pathways through the science of neuroplasticity is just really an interesting thing. And like I said, if you practice with a positive attitude, and with a joyful attitude, and don't put a lot of pressure on yourself, you actually, they say, I read this book by this author, that it's like having an on switch or an open switch that lets the material flow into your subconscious mind, and then you begin to create new neural pathways, which means that you take all these studies that I have in my guitar ladder system, and when your brain is not even, you're not even practicing, your nervous system and your subconscious mind is creating new neural pathways. So it's comparing this cycle to this cycle to this cycle to this to this. That explains, and I've always known this intuitively, but that explains why I've had so many students that have had supernatural growth that really blew me away and blew them away, because the way that I think I did this on an intuitive level, but I've been studying consciousness and mind and minds for 36 years. I've been meditating for 36 years. I'm kind of a student of not just metaphysics, but of developing mind power and nervous system and the ability to grow as an artist, and it's been really an interesting thing. But anyway, my point just being that's very important. So I forget where I was going with all this, but it's really important to develop improvisational skills, because improvisational skills will give you that musical tool chest. Like cycle 1, now we could sit here and analyze and go 1 chord, passing chord, 2 chord, passing chord. It doesn't really matter, but then you get to this chord, which is altered, 7 in the key of D. It doesn't matter. It's the sound that's important. It's the color of the way the chords go together, and learning chords, like Joe Pass used to say, simplify your thinking. If I go like this, see, that's nice, smooth voice leading, right? I got all my chords nice and close together. Also, common tone is a really good thing to think about. But I had something I just wanted to share today, and Joe Pass used to say if he just thought of one new way to use a chord or 2 chords, he was happy. And so this morning I was doing this, and I have so much of this in the guitar ladder system. It's just incredible, but it really works, folks. You just need to believe it, And it's, I want to say one thing. I met somebody. Let's do this real quick. Major 7, major 13, flat 5. Okay. Now I'm going to repeat that. Okay, that's simple, but that gives me another little piece of the puzzle that is going to now be in my subconscious mind and kind of filed away, so the science of neuroplasticity can put that into the mix and compare it. I was recently at a party, and it was a kind of a 4th of July party, and also a birthday party for my wife's sister's son, who was 4, and I hadn't seen these relatives I don't go to a lot of parties, but I thought, man, no man's an island, so I went, and I had a really good time, and I met somebody who played guitar. Of course, at every party there's somebody who plays the guitar, and we just, him and his wife, very nice people, and we just started talking, and somehow they were telling me, I asked them what they do, and they were telling me that they do, he does like IT type stuff, and I was like, well, that was cool. And we just started talking about creativity and stuff, and somehow he asked me what I do, and I mentioned about buying and selling guitars, and that I'm a published author for a guitar book, Modern Chord Cycles for the Guitar, which is now in the guitar ladder system. And we just started talking about all this, and he was very open to all this because he was serious about wanting to make some growth, and he said he just hasn't really gotten anywhere. He's got 4 or 5 nice guitars, hasn't really gotten anywhere. So he obviously wanted to hear about it. So we must have talked for 30 minutes about this at least. And I wasn't going to the party trying to make a sale. I was just trying to support Roy and Amanda's birthday party for their 4-year-old son, Lincoln. Cool name, huh? And anyway, I started explaining about the guitar ladder system, and he got really excited and just wanted to hear more and more. So I just kept explaining it, and he's like, "Man, that sounds great." I think he goes, "Don't be surprised if I order tonight." And that was on 4th of July. So I wasn't surprised that he didn't order that night because of the fact that it's 4th of July. Now I personally don't drink, but he was, and he probably got pretty relaxed that day. And I thought, gosh, for as much as we talked about it, and he just pretty much said, I want to order it because it makes a lot of sense to him. And my point here is that if you understand the guitar ladder system, you'll probably order it. My suggestion would be order sooner than later. But anyway, he didn't order for a couple days, I think 2 or 3 days, and I thought that's really weird because he was really excited about it. When I explained all the dimensions of it, he was really excited and couldn't wait to start. And I explained to him how compositional skills are based on improvisational skills and how I feed the musical mind, musical ear, or the subconscious mind. And now I'm explaining this in terms of neuroplasticity, helping you open up new neural pathways so that you can be processing all this information even when you're sleeping. It's incredible. And then about 4 days later, boom, the order came in, and he said that he apologized. He didn't need to apologize, but he apologized and said, he goes, "I just wanted to, I had some things that kind of had to take care of, but I really, like I told you at the party, I really make sense what you're talking about." So he actually ordered, and so my point just being, if you understand the guitar ladder system, you'll probably order it. And I guess another thing to say is if you believe the guitar ladder system, you'll probably order it, and it works. It's not something I made up. I've got 40 years into it. You can look at my CD review at at vintageguitar.com, and actually my book Modern Chord Cycles for the Guitar was reviewed years ago by Guitar Player magazine. But anyway, it really works, folks. And if there was other material out there that worked as well as the guitar ladder system, I'd be happy to recommend it. And now for you, investing $199 is just way out of reach. I can always do 100 one month and 100 the next month. And if you can't even do that, get a fake book and start playing through all the chord changes of a fake book. It's not going to give you the same thing, but it's going to help you probably more than what you're doing now. But anyway, so that was today's little thing. Major 7. So here we go. Now, if you want to look at that diatonically, you can say that's a 1 chord, and then the G. It's like a 4 chord, right? But like I said, looking at everything diatonically is only going to get you so far. It's more about thinking of chords in terms of groups of chords. This is huge, folks. Thinking of chords in terms of groups of chords, okay? So that's why, like, when I think of a D major 7, I automatically hear all that as well as other things. Maybe, you can improvise intervallically, like major 7, perfect force. Okay, but that's what's so powerful about the guitar ladder system is the guitar ladder system. I don't want to run into my nice guitars here. The guitar ladder system is going to give you that musical tool chest. It's going to give you a structure to your practice but it's not left brain. It's going to input the right chord sentences. You're going to learn the 10 systems of improvisation by playing it and experiencing it. We don't need to analyze it left brain. We don't need to put a formula behind everything. That actually slows the process down immensely. It really does. I've researched this over 100 students I've tested with this, probably more than that. But if you count my online people. But anyway, so the whole idea here is to get your musical tool chest together, to wake up the musical mind, And now I'm explaining this in terms of the science of neuroplasticity, which means that when you input information into your subconscious mind in a light, joyful, no pressure type way, feeling good about it, having a positive attitude, it actually, this is proven in this science of neuroplasticity, it actually has like an open switch, and then you store then like a save switch, you actually store the information, and then your subconscious mind begins to develop, and the nervous system develops new neural pathways in your subconscious mind, so you actually start connecting things, connecting knowledge. So that means when you learn the 240 studies, or I mean, even when you get to 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 studies, you're already beginning to piece information together. Your subconscious mind is starting to piece information together and is going to give you, we could call them solutions. I'd rather call them new ways to be creative that are way beyond anything you could ever come up with the analytical mind or the left brain or some cutesy wootsy little formula, because great music doesn't stick to one form. It doesn't stick to all diatonic or whatever you want to call it. So, but anyway, today's thing that I just found this morning, which I like a lot, major 7 to major 13 flat 5. Let's repeat that, come down a little bit. You can do it other places. You could do the kind of, and see, it's by exhausting. Now I'll take that common tone note and see. Now maybe go somewhere else. So the structure of my 240 studies, you get a video and a chart, plus on top of that you get the secret Horace Hatchet files down the road a little bit. I do not send all this at once because for one thing I'd have to send out 300-400 files, which is very time consuming. Plus it doesn't work. You don't absorb it. If you want to use the power of your subconscious mind, if you want to use the science of neuroplasticity, we need to spoon feed the material so that your subconscious mind doesn't get confused and it can begin to piece together that information and find new ways to hook it up and new ways to be creative. It really works, folks. So I mean, that really, I've known this intuitively for a long time, but yeah, the science of neuroplasticity is really cutting edge stuff, and there are shortcuts in learning music and guitar, but the secret is really developing improvisational skills. And if you're not on board with the guitar ladder system, but you really want to make some massive growth, my advice is don't overthink it. Just order it. It's only $199. Stop spending thousands of dollars on equipment. Spend some money on some material that's really going to give you some huge growth. Okay. So again, today's little thing was major 7 to major 13 flat 5. Now I could take that, make a flat 5. Then go to dominant. Like I said, it's color, man. It's all learning about color, learning about tension and resolution, learning the 10 systems of improvisation in a very organic, simple to use formula. The guitar ladder system is what you're looking for in an innovative, organic, simple to use guitar instruction system and music and guitar improvisational system that will work. It really works, folks. Take care.